Hi, this is Joe Martinez with Midwest Revenue Group, and I'm sitting here at my desk. I just hopped off about a 2-hour-long sales training call with business owners from across the country. We talked about something on there that seemed to be new for a lot of the people, a lot of the sales teams on the call. Just really a different way of looking at sales and how to approach sales and how to come up with next steps. So I wanted to share it with you because, a lot of sales teams, a lot of business owners come to our company because they want help with sales issues, right? Maybe their offers are getting shopped around and they feel like they're being forced to compete on price. Maybe they're going through their sales process and then just losing track of their prospects. Prospects are just going dark and disappearing off the face of the earth. Maybe their sales meetings are getting cut short. They're not going deep enough, having the conversations they want to. At the end of the day, there's tons of issues that lead to not having as many sales as you'd like to have. Now, my job as a sales trainer is to really look at what their perceived issues are and identify what the real issues are. Really what I mean by that is identify the root cause to their sales issues. Because if we don't do this, if we don't address the real issue, if I only address perceived issues, what happens is we end up spinning our wheels. We have the same problems over and over. We try a dozen things that don't work. Salespeople get upset and frustrated. Business owners spend a lot of money on sales training and don't get the results they want. And they're frustrated. So in order to avoid all those things, what we have to do is make sure we're always addressing a root cause and not perceived causes. I'll use this metaphor to explain what I mean, and then I'll break it down to you in sales terms. So I want you to think of a doctor, right? Imagine a doctor that only treated the symptoms of a disease or of an illness, right? Maybe you had flu-like symptoms. Maybe you had the flu. Maybe you had just some other disease with the same types of symptoms, and you went into the doctor, and the doctor didn't run any blood tests, didn't do anything, didn't check for strep throat, didn't do any of those things. What if the doctor didn't care what the root cause was and just said, hey, you got a cough, so here's some cough drops. Hey, you got some runny nose, so here's Sudafed. Well, what would happen? Well, what would happen is you wouldn't get better. Here's what would happen. You probably would never get better. You probably would just feel worse and worse and worse. And then you'd be incredibly frustrated because you went to the doctor, you took the time, you spent the money, you made the effort, and you didn't get better, right? It'd be incredibly frustrating. More frustrating that you went to get help and things got worse than if you just never got help at all, because at least you could understand, well, hey, things aren't improving because I didn't go get help, right? That would actually be called medical malpractice, right? If you went in for treatment and the doctor did not care about what the root cause was and just treated symptoms, that's malpractice. Now, the funny thing is, sales teams and salespeople across the nation are committing something similar every single day. They're committing sales malpractice. And what I mean by that is they're not addressing the root causes that are killing their deals, that are impacting their sales in a negative way. I'll give you some examples. A sales team might come to us and say, you know what, for some reason, our demos or our sales meetings with our customers are just, they're not going as long as they used to. We're not getting as deep as we used to. They're getting cut short. So we want to extend the meeting time. Well, short meetings are a symptom of a larger problem, right? We don't want to just have ineffective meetings but have them last longer with our prospects. We want to address the root cause. Why are these meetings getting cut short? And as we start to look at that, it could be a number of things, right? It could be that they're feeling some type of sales pressure, and to protect themselves, they cut meetings short. It could be there's a fear of not getting the best deal possible. If they give up too much information and share too much with you, that they might be taken advantage of. It might be that you're not addressing their real pain points, that even though your product or service might be a great fit, because you're not framing it in the right terms, addressing their pain points specifically, they're not able to connect the dots, don't see any value in what you're doing, and cut the meeting short. It could be because of what we call deal killers, right? There could be fears, there could be pressure, there could be resistance, there could be risk, there could be all kinds of things that even if you're hitting the pain points right, their fear of deal killers, their fear of what do I have to deal with to get this solution might be holding them back. And if you don't address those, that will also cut a meeting short. So unless I figure out which one of those things it is and give sales teams the proper tools to deal with that root cause, the meetings will never get any better. And if we just simply extend the meeting, if we just hold people hostage to 30 minutes or an hour by taking the meeting offsite or doing all kinds of silly things like that, we're not actually going to get more sales. In fact, what we might do is just upset our prospects more because now we've wasted even more of their time. So listen, here's what you can do today to make sure you start addressing the root cause of any sales issues that you have. Whenever you identify a problem, like short meetings or your offer getting shopped around or prospects going dark, I want you to ask yourself why. And keep asking yourself why until you get to a root cause. Maybe, prospects are shopping around your offer. Why? Well, they want to make sure they're getting the best deal possible. Why? Because all of the products or services look the exact same, so now the only way they can compare what the best deal is to look at the price point. And when you start to ask your why, you can see very quickly, when you ask it just a few times, you start to identify, here's what we have to do next to set ourselves apart and to get over whatever it is we're dealing with in a sales capacity. So hey, I want you to actually try this. Just try it once and see what happens. And I guarantee you'll start getting better and better sales results. I had a lot of fun making this for you. If you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you, please share it with anyone who you think this might help. This is John Martinez with Midwest Revenue Group.